go to the YouTube live dashboard.
Huh?
It will say your stream health, and the live stream will be offline. And there you go, you are live.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, so what are they looking at then?
Well, wait, hold on.
In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage
no.
Livestream.
Okay, we don't need to.
It's right there.
Oh, okay, so
So it's the feedback.
wow, serious delay.
Yeah, it's serious.
Yeah, it has a 10-second to 5-second delay.
Then how in the hell is that worth anything?
I don't know.
I'm not going to use a damn program that gives me a 10-second delay for live streaming.
That's YouTube.
Seriously?
Yeah, YouTube gives a 10-second delay, 12-second to 10-second delay.
Is it so that people can read the chat? Because that's the only reason I can see why that would be a delay.
I have no idea. It's just YouTube has a delay system, and it's the most annoying thing that ever.
Like even.
Is the chat delayed too?
Even on the mobile live stream, they delay it for.
On the mobile live stream, everything will be delayed.
Ugh.
The video will be delayed. I'm not
sure. I have a Senior Buffett. Hello, Senior Buffett. Try and figure this out. Seriously?
Theoretically, can't you just speak to them?
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's Will's mom. Hello, Will's mom. This is our first live stream, so the kids are trying to help me figure this out.
That delay is so freaky.
Yeah, that delay stinks, but we'll work with it. Probably because if something happens, you have time to plug in like a TV. I like that. So how's everybody doing this morning? We were bored and figured we might as well go ahead and live stream. Thank you for. You don't have to stick around.
Of course, I'm not going to stick around.
Okay, good.
If you have any more questions, ask me or look it up on YouTube.
Okay, will do. Thank you, son. Yeah, he's smirking right now, Will's mom. So there's apparently a 10 to 12-second delay built into this. So if things seem a little weird, keep that in mind. Actually, I'm going to take off glasses so the glare isn't hitting you. So feel free to ask questions. If you have anything you want to know, anything you want to ask, fire away. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Thank you. Percival's very happy with the Littles area and the fact that that's really resonating with you guys. Just a good thing all around for all of us. You don't have to stay if you don't want any.
I don't have anything better to do unless you don't want me here.
No, I don't care. You can be my drink messenger.
I can be your messenger. No friends to hang out.
Okay, well,
No
apparently, just whichever you guys.
Of course we have friends. They're our friends. You guys are all our friends. I'm sorry, I'm being loud. Am I embarrassing you, Father? I apologize. I'll go get you some drink.
Get me a glass full of ice, please. So.
Okay.
No, you want a glass full of nitrogen.
Go on now. The people on the internet are hearing you, all right? Don't give me a hard time. Unfortunately, I can't stay. Just wanted to say hello. Hope all is well. Thank you, Odessa. Going pretty good today. Hope everything's going well with you guys. Hello, Alti Mama. 11:30. I'm going to assume that's PM, and you must be on the other side of the pond. To be honest, we're not sure exactly where most of our viewers are coming from. We know there's a good portion of you here in the U.S., but we also know that there's some international. So feel free to pop out in the section there where you're from if you'd like.
Oh yeah, if you're on a live stream, just be careful because I'm not sure if it eats up the bandwidth.
Well, nobody's here except us to take up the bandwidth right now. Thank you. Hand me my Pepsi over there, please.
Oh, just wanting the cherry one or the regular one?
The regular, and give some to Thomas. He can have some of the cherry, since that's his favorite.
One of my favorites.
Sorry, guys. Family life here. How many systems do you see with children? Or, well, large children. Teenagers.
Large children, lengthy humans.
I'm going to take so much crap for this. Hey, Juxtaposition 22, California. Love California. Don't get to visit there nearly enough. Will's mom, New York. Oh, okay. Hopefully it's not terribly hot and humid there. We're familiar with the East Coast as well, and it can be brutal. Did you want some? Yeah, there you go. This is Catherine, for those who don't know from Mimi's video.
Hello, I don't know where to look at. It's right there. Hello.
They're the best. Yeah, way too much fires out here in the West, for sure. Be more specific, but safety. Roses! Hi, 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 hi. So happy to see you.
Yeah, they live in Washington? That's cool.
Yeah, Washington, that would be like uber nice. All those trees and moisture and green.
How's the snow? Do you guys have snow up there?
Alti Mama says hi, Catherine.
Oh, hello.
Well, I don't think they'd have snow this time of year. I mean, on the mountains anyway. But.
No. I don't even know what estrogen is. It's
All right. If you're gonna have this conversation, you guys go elsewhere.
I'm not gonna have this conversation.
Okay, good.
I'm just telling him no.
I'm a teenager. Don't deal with me.
Come on. I'm supposed to be the star. We're supposed to be the star here, You guys are stealing my thunder.
I'm
Our
not
thunder.
stealing your thunder.
Pronouns, Does anybody else get driven nuts by the pronouns? It's like there should be a manual or a guide or something. Actually, we're going to do an episode on that. So I tell you what, if you guys are familiar with any of the different pronouns like we or when us is referred to as a system, we want to try to be as inclusive with all the terms that we can. So feel free to hit any info that you have in the comment section. Rosa says yes. I think she's referring to the snow, but I'm not sure. Or they're referring to the snow. Sorry.
This just reminded me of the 8-year-old snowball that we have in this freezer.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you could hear that or not, but we have a snowball in the freezer that we've been saving for 8 years because snowball fight revenge, and I'm still waiting my opportunity patiently.
When did we have an 8-year-old snowball? And where is it?
Exactly, this is why.
Okay, yeah, Rosa says she got a lot of snow these past couple years. Okay, let's see. In Italian, we gender everything. It's a nightmare. Try not to offend or trigger one. I can understand. I remember taking Latin in high school, and conjugating the verbs and the pronouns was a nightmare. So I can only imagine. I mean, not the same thing, obviously, but can kind of understand. Revenge is a dish best served cold and slow, apparently. Yes. The Klingons know what they're talking about,
It is. It really is frozen solid.
Yeah. Like Katie said, that snowball is really frozen. It's more of an ice ball now, but.
We found out yesterday because we were putting popsicles away because we got popsicles because it's that time of year, you know, popsicles are now in the stores, and we're like, you know, that...
Honey,
Yeah.
popsicles are always in the stores.
They are?
No.
Wait, what?
Have you never seen a popsicle in the store?
Are you serious? You're not pranking me, right?
I'm not pranking you.
Oh dear God.
No.
All right.
I'm embarrassed now.
You should be embarrassed now. You didn't know that popsicles were not.
I thought they were a seasonal
You thought they were a
thing.
seasonal item. Oh my lord. When you find out that your children have startling gaps in their education.
What is that supposed to mean?
Exactly what it says.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you don't know what estrogen is, and your sister doesn't know that ice pops are not a seasonal thing.
Well, at least I'm not as
Okay, now
about it as her.
they say that you guys are excellent, and I'm gonna have to mic up those funny kids of yours. The Otter Pops type seem to be seasonal. Rose's Rent says so. You've got an LA there.
Okay, I knew
All right.
Otter Pops are seasonal.
Okay, all right. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try to switch mics here. Hopefully, it won't kill anything.
It's not going to kill anything. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I know, right? Winter.
Okay. I'm going to mute this temporarily. Okay, we're got my good studio microphone hooked up here. We're gonna see if we can get that to work. So forgive me just a sec while I switch programs. Okay, my media source is not.
All because
Okay, well, where's the mic?
you gotta scroll down.
Scroll down. Okay, well that's.
Settings.
Okay, go to settings.
The settings on the mic.
Well, be specific.
How am I supposed to...
Okay, so
Properties.
properties,
Go to device.
default, and we're gonna do the
And that's how you do it.
and okay. Mute this, and you can still hear me. Okay, guys, we should now be on a much clearer mic, so you can hear my annoying little children in the back, or not so annoying, as the case may be.
You're one that makes me want to be annoying.
That's...
Okay, try to be in her shoes. All those winters wasted.
I don't think I've ever made a snow angel, ever. I'm just saying.
Because every time we try to do it, there was, like, you know, the snow pit things area by, like, that Fry's over there.
Oh, yeah. That's not real snow, though.
Yeah, that's not real snow.
Yes, it is. And, guys, remember,
Yeah.
try not to reveal anything for location.
Exactly, that's what I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Gotta
You haven't
remember
said anything either. You just
safety.
mentioned the store.
Yeah, no, I'm just, well, there's fries everywhere. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's been something very common through our lives as we make the best straight man. Apparently, if there was a guy that gets the pie in the face and acts dignified, that's us. And actually, we think a lot of that comes from Percival, because he's prissy. There's just no way around it. He likes things just so, and he's very dignified. And this is actually one of the things that Nigel just constantly kids him about, is his stuffiness. Nigel calls him a toff, so.
Or my grammar, you know.
Yes, or your grammar. Yes, what do I have in back of...
It's flapjack.
Oh, it's flapjack, okay. Put flapjack back on the bed, please. Thank you.
I wanted him to be a facehugger.
He's not a facehugger.
No,
he's
he
a
doesn't need to be a
murderer.
safe facehugger. Blah, blah, blah. God, the internet is a terrible place. I'm from the age of don't reveal anything about where you are. Now everything is location tagged. I hope this isn't location tagged.
It's not. I don't think it will.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I know what it is, but I have no idea.
I don't think it's location tagged.
Well, never know.
If the FBI gets on that door, they won't know.
Will you meet Nigel one day?
If you do a cooking episode of frying fish.
You know, I'm the one supposed to be answering the questions here.
That doesn't mean I can't help you. I'm
That's the
helping
only time we really have
you.
to
You
see
can backtalk me. I'm sorry.
All right, so, will we see Nigel? I don't know. We don't know. Nigel's pretty much kind of a background type of a guy. At least, like the kids say, when he wants to eat fish. He's fronted to make fish because, now see, this is a weird thing. Sorry, I'll get to your comments in just a sec, but I don't want to lose track.
Nothing will happen.
I hate fish. I can't. Chris hates fish. I cannot abide the taste. Nigel loves fish. So when he's fronting and he's eating the fish, he really loves it. He loves the taste. And I'm Kokon in the back, and I'm tasting it the way that he tastes it, but when he leaves the front, it tastes incredibly nasty. Again, it goes back to tasting like... So, everyone else in the house is happy when he comes out to cook because they all like fish, but I hate fish, and since we're the ones doing the cooking most of the time, Rosemary is kind of... She comes out to do special things, but most of the time it's me. So I don't know if we'll see Nigel. We'll find out. That was a very long-winded explanation. Okay, no look. Okay, yeah. So Rosa's Rent says no location tags unless we set them, so that's cool. Always been uncomfortable around social media, and sometimes it leaves me socially isolated. No sound. Uh-oh.
Wait, do we not have sound? Like, because like I saw that, but like.
Well, then you need to let me know.
Location tag thing.
No sound. Well, the microphone is...
Yeah.
Okay, juxtaposition says she hears fine. The mic is still going. Check your sound. Panda, panda, panda. Everybody else seems to be doing okay. Maybe a refresh? Yeah. Thank you, juxtaposition. How many of you do we have? Does it even show me?
Yep, it shows you. Go.
Oh, 9. Hi, 9.
That's a movie, isn't
You
it?
can also check up there that says watching 9.
9, yes it is. That's that steampunk.
It's the creepy
Or not
one, right?
steampunk. Yeah, steampunk. I'm thinking of the right one.
It's the creepy thing, right?
You mean the sack dolls?
Yes, the ragdoll stories that are alive that you guys think are so terribly creepy.
I mean, they are.
I think the story's actually pretty good.
I don't even remember the story.
Okay, so questions you guys have, or are you just happy to listen to us babble on? First live stream, never done this before, so.
I still need to edit videos. I need to edit my videos and recording for more content for my YouTube channel.
Well, look at you, being a YouTuber.
I have 4 subscribers, and that's as much as I have. I'm not a good YouTuber.
Okay, guys, if you could keep it down for a second. Okay, juxtaposition says, I have trouble talking to my family about anything about my mental health. How did I get started? That's a good question. For those of you who watched our diagnosis video, you're kind of familiar with... We briefly glossed over why we started to get treatment. Essentially, it was Christmas about 2 or 3 years, 3 years ago. Maybe 4? Anyway, it's been a while. 3 years, I believe, because we've been in treatment for over 2 years now. So we have always hated the holidays. We didn't know why. Now, of course, we do. High preponderance of sexual abuse occurs during holidays, obviously, when you have all the families together and whatnot, and we know where that goes. So
that particular Christmas, things had just built up and built up and built up. We always felt like we were on the outside looking in. Everybody else is having fun, but we're like, oh, we are not feeling this, you know. So we, after dinner, we exploded all over our stepson. Just in this completely ridiculous fit of anger, and threw him out of the house, and then promptly spent the rest of the evening trying to put things back together. And in the middle of this, our wife looked at us and said, "You are going to get help." And we said, "Yep, we are." So we promised that we would, and told everybody that we would, and that led us to getting treatment. And it was from there that we eventually got diagnosed with DID. So we kind of had to talk about it right off the bat. Once we started in initially with our therapy to give us the skills, mindfulness and things like that, to control the anger, we started to open up a lot more to our family. We've always been very open about what's going on with our family. They've been our family, sorry, pronouns, and they've been very supportive. So I hope that answers the question, kind of a roundabout way. Ongoing. That's the immediate family. Let us qualify that. There are other parts of the family that we no longer communicate with, nor have for several years. Abuse-related and otherwise. So, just immediate family. Family so distant, I don't think I'll have an event like that. You have friends? I hope. We don't have many ourselves, so I hope that you have more than we do. Yeah, listen to me talking. Reach out. It's important. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys not feel so much alone. It's okay, juxtaposition. We get it. It's rough. It's rough. There's parts of our family that we're never going to be able to let in on it. Okay, good. Excellent. As long as you've got a support system, that's what matters. Hello, One Mula. You and your immediate family knew about the altar. Once we knew, did a lot of things make sense in retrospect? Thanks for sharing your story. Wow, yeah. Totally made sense in retrospect. Hang tight, guys. Would you please go ahead and close the door, please? Just go ahead and pull like literally close it. Please. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. We're getting into deep territory now, so please. Okay.
I need my cup.
All right. Hang on, guys. Sorry. My wife just came home. Our other daughter, Caitlin, she was not feeling well this morning, so she took her to urgent care. She was feeling dizzy and whatnot, but she also hadn't gotten a lot of sleep. So you know how teenagers are, but hopefully everything are okay. So let's see. Sorry, I was trying to answer One Mula's question. Once we knew about the altars, did a lot of things make sense in retrospect? Yes. We were initially misdiagnosed with BPT, PTSD, generalized anxiety, high-functioning autism, and that was enough. Things started to make a little bit of sense. All of a sudden there was I'm not just a terrible screw-up who does everything wrong and just is never good enough and can never do anything right, or just like that. And of course, you hear a lot of the guilt and the manipulation going on through here. Once our second therapist diagnosed us with a DID, or rather psychologist, it was like somebody takes a spatula, slips it under the puzzle that is your life, and flips it completely upside down, where it's all the same puzzles, but the picture finally makes sense for the first time. So yeah, and particularly going through therapy and going back over everything that's happened, things have started to fall into place. Hang on just a sec, folks. I'm going to mute. Okay, we're back. Sorry. People needed to do things. So, sorry for the intimate view of my hand. Okay, let's see. Yeah, one mullah hopefully answered everything there. Sorry, we tend to ramble and repeat. How did your family do when they first met the alters? Everybody's been really understanding. Thomas was a little bit disturbed the first time that he really saw anybody, but that was Mimi, and that was on Halloween, and that was her first time out fronting. So other than that, everybody's been really supportive. Obviously, it's been a real learning curve. But everybody's been really good about it. Obviously, there's been some difficulties. Hasn't been easy. Definitely hasn't been easy, but they've been very supportive. They really like the various alters. Everything's been pretty good so far, knock on wood. Nope, one more sec. Briefly. Okay, sorry about that. My wife is extremely camera shy, and she's just not ready to be on yet, so thank you for respecting that. Okay, let's see. So, Will's mom, I think I answered you. Okay, Michael. Sorry, I've got my glasses off, so I have to lean in a little. Nickel Uller? I'm sorry, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation anyway, but I tried. Who's out? Chris and Data at the moment. We're always kind of co-blended. Okay, good. We answered that for you. Mula, no lead to privacy is important, especially nowadays. Thank you guys for being so... Whoops, Google just thinks I'm trying to say something to it. Go away, Google. There we go. Okay, let's see. Privacy is important. Yep. And this is our first stream. Hi, Tosca. Tosca Holtrop. Hi, Tosca. Little disclaimer, don't want to offend anyone. What do you think about the focus on the individuality of each alter and or the goal of alt integration? That's a good question. For us, and again, this is only from our perspective, we integrated, I don't want to say integrated, because we split so early on, pre-verbal. We grew up together and hodgepodged through much of our life. Just kind of learning to work together. We didn't realize that it's not normal to speak to other people in your head, to have full-blown conversations and arguments, to have people moving in and out. So we were kind of already integrated as it was. Our journey since we've been diagnosed with DID has been more individualizing the crowd, figuring out who has been doing what and where this particular set of thoughts are coming from. What does this person do? Is this an alter? Is it a fragment? It's been kind of in reverse. So instead of taking many individuals and trying to integrate them into one, we've been kind of taking our hodgepodge that broke down eventually and sorting it out into which individual is what. So that's kind of been more for the emphasis of us. As far as the actual integration, for us it's really not necessary, but I know that this is an issue with other systems out there. Some choose to integrate as an end goal, and some choose to work towards what I believe is called functional multiplicity now. We're still catching up on all the terminology and whatnot, so forgive us if we misspeak or say the wrong thing. So for some systems, integration is the goal, or fusion of alters where one or more fuses into another alter. For us, it's not necessary. Every system's mileage may vary. I hope that answers your question, Altimama. Thank you, Rose's Rent. We do take care of our family. We try to. They take care of us, so we take care of them. Okay, did that answer everybody's questions so far? I think we're caught up on the backlog. And welcome to anybody that we missed. Yeah, completely correct, Roses. To be honest, we've asked ourselves, and even before we knew we were a system, we would tell many people we would just for one day, for 1 minute, for 1 hour, have all the voices shut up. Just shut up. We just thought it was internal dialogue and conscience, but yeah, it was very rough, and we did break down because of it. And now, though, we are actually functioning better. Now that we know who's who, and we're starting to cooperate with the little story hour, the safe space, that's really brought us together as a functional unit, or at least trying. Okay, whoa, we got comments here. Okay. Tosca, trying to understand DID better. I know it's still been unclear for the system, but yes. Was Chris the given name at birth? And that's why you know. Yes. We actually just on our last episode, our serious episodes, if you want to term them that, talked about the different types of alters and what we call the host core conundrum. At this point, I'm definitely the host, but our therapist says that we're also the core. But because we split so early, it's difficult to tell. So over the course of our therapy, it may come out that we're not the core. More than likely we are, because we have discussed this at length with our therapist, and she's pretty firm about it. But as things are still evolving and alters are coming out, or rather we're identifying them and sorting them out from the fragments, things are kind of gelling. So we'll see if that happens. So yeah, Chris is the name that we've identified with. There are various others that come along. Sorry if the question is too personal. Not at all. If we say it's too personal, we'll let you know up front. How long have I been host? Mikkel wants to know, were there other hosts? I don't know. This is actually one of the questions that we've kind of been curious about, is just how many hosts have there been? It's like we were married before we lost our wife to kidney failure, among other things. And lately we've been wondering, was the person that we were then, that husband, was that a different person, or was it us? Did we section that experience off? Are we that same person again? So yeah, kind of a weird question. Hope that answers. As far as I know, Data and I have been co-blended and kind of hosting for all our lives, really. I can't remember a time when Data wasn't with me. Okay. Ultimama very curious about the different opinions and points of view. Well, Ultimama, we can give you lots of opinions and different points of view. They may not be right, but we'll give them to you. Viola, hi. How did your system feel when they first came out? Notice some of my alters are having difficulties being themselves when they front because they are so used to present themselves as the host. Viola? Viola? Okay. I'm going to go with viola because the musical instrument. It has been difficult on some of us. Again, for us, it's kind of been a liberation because we have been at cross odds with each other for a very long time. All of us trying to work together as a whole without knowing that we were separate individuals. So I'm sure that there have been plenty of us, particularly the main alts, Data, Bootstraps. We're finding out Percival's been there for a lot longer than we thought. Probably Nigel. I think they've all more or less been used to fronting in the head when somebody gets tired or doesn't want to deal with it anymore. They kind of step to the back. This would actually help to explain why, kind of a personal admission here, but as it turns out, this is common with a lot of systems. We had a real inability of keeping a job. The longest one that we had was 3.5 years. And we would always come in one day and we'd get the talk, please come into the office. And, oh, well, your work has been slacking. You've been taking so much time off. You're late all the time. And we're like, what? I don't miss time. I haven't been sick and da-da-da-da. So as it turns out, more or less, these were probably the different altars, and we just were trying to work, but it didn't. I don't know if this is making any sense to you. So yeah, they've kind of had to be Chris. As we've learned to separate, things have gotten a little bit easier, but like Mimi has not been terribly comfortable coming forward. She's only now really kind of grasping her own sense of identity, as it was. Hope that answers your question. Let's see, what else do we have? Did some of our alters age up? Will's mom want to know. I don't know. I don't think so. We don't think so. We're still finding out about the littles and untangling that. So far we're up to... If you count Mimi as a little... Okay, yeah, a tween. Sorry. She's all, don't call me a little. We're up to about 5 or 6. It's kind of murky in there because we think that one of our alts might have an alterception going thing on, so we're trying to sort that through. And so nobody's deliberately tried to age up yet. If anybody's going to do that, it might be Mimi, but she's still trauma-locked in 84. But out of all of the littles, she's the most aware of the present time, so she might choose to do that. We'll see if we can overcome the time lock and work with that. Okay, Rosa's rant. Most important thing to make sure whoever's around you is a person your alters feel safe with. Yes, so important. Gaining the trust, particularly for the littles, is... I just cannot overstate the necessity for that. It took our littlest 5 or 6 times before he stopped being terrified of everyone around him, therapist included. He doesn't understand that our wife is our wife, but he has finally become comfortable enough around her to see her as a source of comfort and as a source of strength, so this is a good thing. So yeah, feeling safe. Very important, whether it's a little or an older alt, because the fear of being left or being reviled for it is crippling. It's terrifying. Okay, let's not head down that rabbit hole any farther. Mikkel, please tell me if we're mispronouncing that. You all have an inner world? If so, what is it like? Whew, how to describe this one? Yes, we do, and no, we don't. Our headspace, inner world, whatever you want to call it, is best described as being inside of a thick fog bank. Like you're walking through a really thick fog, like in London or along the beach or something when, the fog comes in. It's pretty much just a gray area. And the way that I feel it is pretty much, or we feel it, is pretty much open space here, and then there's the sense of presences mostly to the right, also to the left. Mimi has her room, of which we only really see a door, kind of just hanging there in space. Over that way, there was the deep, dark, nasty, evil, bottomless pit that our littlest lived in for 48 years. Which fortunately has vanished and been replaced with what we call the Glade, which is where our alter Angel, or whatever name she wants to give herself, elves, she refuses to pick one. Names have power thing, I guess. Anyway, she has this forest glade that's peaceful and comforting. Those of you who have been following us on Instagram, she's trying desperately to recreate that on our porch, and we're working with her for that, but she has been sheltering our littlest since we worked through most of his heavy-duty trauma. So that's our inner world. We really don't have much structure to it as of yet. We'll see how that goes. There are several things that we dream about repeatedly that we think might be parts of the inner world, but we're still sorting it out. So hope that answers that question. Gray fog. Yeah, Silent Hill. Believe it or not, we have a repeating dream about a dilapidated mansion that somehow belongs to the family, and we've become the heir, and we're coming there to check it out. But it's like, as you go further up in the building, the rot and the dilapidation sets in, and we know that there's some thing on the third floor, and we continually try to work our way up, and it's like we get this sense of this female. It's weird. Anyway, so yeah, Silent Hill. It's me cell. Okay, thank you, me cell, for clarifying. It's looking pretty good. Okay. So yeah, Inner World. Ask away. We're covering some great stuff here. And again, welcome to anybody who's popped up that we haven't talked to yet. Just to let you guys know, we are working on our next heavy-duty episode, if you want to call it. We will be covering trauma, sex, and how it affects DID. You guys, we kind of alluded to this in our Boys Cry 2 video. So yeah, we're coming up on another gut check video for you guys. So don't worry, we'll post trigger warnings just like we did before. But it's gonna be real, so heads up on that. We are working on it, but we have to pace ourselves because there's a lot of information there that we struggle with personally, so we know that there's got to be other systems out there that deal with it, and everybody kind of goes tippy toe around the real heavy duty stuff that we deal with on an everyday basis. So hopefully we'll be able to present it to you guys the way that we did with the Boys Cry 2 episode and show you all of our perspectives. But we got to take it a slice at a time so that we don't get overwhelmed. Michelle wants to know, do we have any non-human alters? Unless you count Angel, who identifies as an elf. Don't get me wrong, not prejudice against elves or anything. It's just weird. If you count her as being non-human, no, we don't. Not yet. We do know that systems will have animal alters or things like that. That's cool. You know, I mean, alters are alters. It's just an expression of the interior person in the landscape. But personally, no, we don't have any. Okay, so Will's mom noticed that many of the heavily traumatized littles in systems live in such terrible places. How sad. Yes. Yeah. That's about all I can say about that. He lived in blackness, curled up on himself, never speaking, just crying, for 48. For 48 years. But he is now happy. He's exploring. He has expressed a lot of his trauma, not all of it, and he is now in a safe space. So he's come a long way, and he has healed. But yeah, Will's mom, it's, yeah. Okay, Tosca, what made you start YouTube? Very happy you did. I learned a lot from you. Thank you, Tosca. We're glad that we're helping out. We're not experts or anything, but there's just so much information out there about DID and the dissociative conditions that we're just kind of trying to weed through it for you guys. Just following in the footsteps of others, but why did we start it? Giving back. We were floundering when we were first diagnosed, and of course Data, being our record keeper and Mr. Intellectual, has to devour everything about a subject that he possibly can. Okay, this is who we are, this is what we are, we're going to find out everything we can about it. I mean, he reads really the technical journals and the papers and the treatises, and that's actually what we're trying to do. Is we boil all that down and remove all the medicalese and the gobbledygook as much as we can, and then present it to you that way. Because while Data and other intellectual alts like him may be able to just go, oh yes, the rest of us are kind of like, huh? So yeah, we wanted to give back because we were floundering, and there were a couple of channels, that we saw. Entropy System really helped us out a lot. It clicked the most with us, and they were just relatable, so we just wanted to give back. And also the main thing was that we noticed there was a total lack, or at least that we could find, of representation for male body systems and older male body systems. So we went, we have a unique perspective that perhaps others might benefit from. Let's start a YouTube channel. And we happened to start it right in the middle of the crap storm that's been going on. So we've kind of been like dog paddling through it. But so yeah, that's why we started YouTube. And despite all of the crap and the hate that's going around right now, we're going to keep plugging. And just a brief note on the haters and crap like that, don't care. Just, we've been on the internet for so long. We've been forum admins. We've been moderators. The best way to take care of a troll is to starve it. If you don't give them a reaction, which is all they're really looking for, they go away. So, and like as far as doxing, we've already had the most worst possible things done to us throughout our entire life. Sorry, but your evil, hateful words aren't going to impact us. Sorry. Better people who were a lot better at it and a lot better at abuse have already been there and done that, and we've moved on. So, sorry, but so yeah, sorry, mini rant there. That's Elfist. Nice. Roses, we do have many young systems currently on social media. It's important to have older voices, if only because y'all are able to better speak on heavy topics, if only with live experience. Yeah, that's all we're trying to do is just bring you guys our experience, maybe help somebody throw that rock into the pond so that the ripples spread, because those ripples touch other ripples, and on and on and on. Will's mom, thank you. It's nothing to be sorry about, but thank you for that. It wasn't your fault. And thank you for being a teacher and helping others, because that takes a lot of dedication. Our wife does that, and respect. What is doxing? Doxing is the art of digging up personal information on somebody and posting it to the internet at large. Things like address, names, phones, relatives' address, past job experiences, anything that they can dig up. They just do it because they can, to get a rise, to get a reaction. That's doxing. So it's been happening to a lot of the large channels recently. That's about all we're going to say about that. You're a scientist, neuroscience, so totally understand how no one can understand those. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tosca, and thank you for studying neuroscience, for sure, and being interested in DID and the dissociative disorders, because really the whole medicine around it, the whole medical community is still kind of in the beginning phases, really, other than Dr. Vanderkolk and his colleagues who have been at this since the early 80s. There just really hasn't been a lot of coherent work on it. Most of the really good work on DID has actually been done overseas. We're in the US, and most of it has actually been done in the UK and Australia, which leaves us here in the US who are currently under this medieval cloud of non-belief in science and fact. Okay, that's all we'll say about that. But it's left us wanting. So, thank you. Notice that too, it's not really being taught in school yet. No, it's not. And unfortunately, a lot of the psychological profession are very much anti-biased against it. So agree on your point of view about the trolls and bad people. Been a moderator. Yep, exactly. Yeah, don't feed the trolls. Just don't. And look, we're small fry, okay, but there is something that we want to touch on here because we've been thinking about it, and we actually have another YouTube channel that we've been on for 3 years. We basically abandoned it once the crap hit the fan because we just couldn't work on it. So I mean, it's like, yeah, that's something we expect to be dug up later on, but we have a lot of YouTube experience, so we weren't coming into this fresh. So yeah, trolls, just don't feed them. And guys, there's been a lot, and we, unfortunately, the post that we wrote it on with the others, apparently for those who you do not know, they got a lot of hate recently, and they've decided to step back for system safety, and so respect to them for it. With the vacuum of power, as it were, with all of the big DID names leaving YouTube or being chased off or deciding to withdraw for their own safety, it's natural for people to look for leaders, for somebody to identify with, to maybe emulate, to look up to. We're all seeking that sense of connection. We all want to feel that there's somebody out there who's got it more together than us, that our lives might mean a little bit more by identifying with them. A leader is just a focal point for the issue or the community. It is not, or they are not, the focal point. And as channels, and we've watched this on YouTube, and as channels get larger and their viewer or fan base starts to grow, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on the so-called leaders to fill that role. And that's something that they may not want. But more importantly, it actually kind of delegitimizes, well, not that, it de-emphasizes, that's a much better word, all of those other voices out there, the smaller YouTube channels, those systems who have been brave enough to step forward and start to tell their story. It takes the focus off of them, and really where the focus should be is on the community. So it's natural to identify with somebody, it's natural to follow them or become a fan, but be careful about placing people up on that pedestal, because inevitably it's going to get kicked. Everyone is fallible, everyone is human, everyone is a hypocrite. Okay? So we're going to admit it straight up. We're hypocrites. We're going to screw up. We've screwed up in the past. We've done things that we're not particularly proud of. But we'll fess up to them. If we screw up, we're going to say it. But by the same token, we're not the be-all and end-all. Okay? You guys are what's really matters. Your stories, your outlook, you are important. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay? Just... there's our mini soapbox speech on the whole thing. So now we'll move on. Okay. Recently resurfaced also shocked and amazed with smartphones and the internet. Oh God, yes. Mimi's like in awe of the tech. Most of us, or some of us, just ignore it. Rosemary has learned to use the basics. She likes to listen to her 20s, 30s, 40s music while she cleans and bakes. So some, it's like the littles, you know, there's no connection there whatsoever. But the most of them have been, either they ignore it because it didn't exist in that particular time period that they're time locked to, or they just use it for their own, or it's like Percival has been drawing on our knowledge in order to, when he's when we're recording the safe space, the story times, because again, he's being prissy and he kind of wants to do things himself, so he's been drawing on our technical knowledge. But like Nigel, he doesn't care. Knows it's there, doesn't care. Let's see. So yeah, it's some of them. It's like Mimi's been geeking out. Okay, if suspect a friend is a system, how can I let them know it's safe to open up but not make them feel pressured or on the spot at all? That's an excellent question, Plastic House 76. Love that. The best thing to do is just let them come to you. Every person's different, so we can't really give you a hard and fast rule on this. The main thing is to, as in any relationship, communicate and be supportive. If they don't want to talk about something or they shy away from it, and keep in mind with DID and dissociative disorders, it is protective. We naturally want to shy away from that. So that it may not be your friend necessarily pushing it away, but that natural state of denial, that hidden, oh my God, keep this secret type thing. So just tell them, hey, I've noticed that you're down sometimes. If you ever want to talk or you want to talk about it, you know, I'm here for you. Really, that's the best advice we can give you. But yeah, don't make them feel pressured or on the spot. They will talk to you in their own time. And trying to pressure anyone about it is just kind of going to make them worse, because they may not be ready to face that at their point along the journey. Okay, hope that answers your question. GB, welcome. Were you also making DID related videos on your previous channel? If so, the videos on that channel still exist. Nope, not about DID whatsoever. We started that channel a year before we ever went in for treatment and ended up being diagnosed, because we were just kind of going nuts. We needed something to do and something to focus our energies on. And so we started up the channel. I don't want to cross-promote, so because we kind of just let it go, but it's UFOs and the paranormal, but not from the, oh my god, ancient aliens, Giorgio Tsoukalos, with a crazy hair angle, but more from a scientific viewpoint of, okay, let's apply logic and reason to this. Here's this piece of footage, let's explore it, let's see what it can be explained by, and explore those possibilities before we go jumping into the rabbit hole that is the paranormal. Basically, we were just looking to create an antidote to all the crap on YouTube. But that's really all about it. So not about DID whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. But it's still out there. If you guys really want to know, maybe we'll drop it in the comments section of our next video or something. Okay. Do other alters get mad when other alters imitate them? I'm not sure what you mean exactly by imitate. I guess the best example is this. Lately, when we've been, the past two times that we've recorded, Percival has recorded the story time, Nigel keeps wanting to creep out, and he'll creep out when Percival is saying something, and it'll totally flub up Percival's train of thought, and he gets very irritated at Nigel for doing this. We cut those bits out when we're editing later, but ooh boy, he gets really frustrated. It's like when we were recording the last one, the saggy baggy elephant, there was a lot of internal dialogue going on, and he got very frustrated because he had to stop and keep starting over, and continuity is very important to him. So yeah, he gets a little bit irritated. When Mimi first came out, Rosemary came out before her, they had an argument about something, and we don't know what it is to this day, but they were really ticked at each other for a good while. And then finally they did sort it out. Trust was built. Rosemary offered an olive branch to Mimi, and Mimi was grown up enough to take it. Yes, I feel you listening in. Okay. We're not going to talk smack. Just relax, Mimi. So yeah, there have been some conflict, but for the most part, fairly harmonious so far. We hope. Definitely don't want them to think they ever have to share if they don't want to. Okay, thank you, Plastic Al. Yeah, it seems like simple advice, but really that's the best thing you can do. Just be supportive and keep an open mind and keep open ears. Okay, GB. Yeah. Okay, fine. The name of the other channel is Paranormal News Today. Paranormal News Today. That's it. We're not even 1,000 subs. Small, rinky-dink channel. And our programming over there was kind of weird. We'll just let you judge for yourselves. Let's just say that all of us were kind of contributing unique aspects to it. It's kind of like, okay, what if the local news actually took this stuff seriously? So we would cover little human interest tidbits in the first part and then dig into the UFO analysis in the last. So check it out if you want to. That's the only time that we're ever going to mention it or cross-promote it, because that's totally not the purpose here at all. So GB, there you go. Anybody else who wants to check it out? Miss L, outtakes. Maybe we'll do a bloopers video. We'll see. We'll have to get the permission of everyone involved first. Imitate Percival reading. Does he find that annoying? I can't impersonate him reading. his vocal cadence is just drastically different. I mean, I can like do a fake British accent. Oh God, that sounds more like a Texan or something like that. Okay, some of us are really good at accents. Some others of us aren't. We actually did have professional voiceover vocal training. And we were an internet DJ at one point, way back. It was within a game like WoW, and it was a very tiny community, but we do have the voice experience. But I can't do Percival. I can't. If I tried, I try not to tease them because we're looking to promote harmony, and, you know, it's Nigel will pick on Percy, but they're a couple. What are you going to do? Everybody does that. So, yeah, he probably would find it annoying if I were to do that, but I just can't, so I don't. Not really a question. Can I ask a question about persecutors? GB wants to know. Nothing in just personal, just in general. Trying to understand the way how persecutors choose to persecute. I mean, there are different ways to cope with trauma. Yes. A persecutor basically has one goal. It's to protect the system. The ways that we touched on this in our last video, Who in the Hell Are You People, altars and all about them. Persecute, okay, hang on, you're writing more here. Choose to persecute for some reason, although it's the healthy thing to do. You can take the role of abuser, so you're just surprised. Yeah, it does seem really counterintuitive. And a lot of this has to do with the way that the trauma is imprinted on the brain. And this is just something that we've learned recently, is that your persecutors, and we learned this over at I think it's called the CTAD clinic. For those of you who, they just started up a YouTube channel, and they did an interview just recently with Multiplicity and me. So if you can't find it, look over on Jess's channel, and I know that they've got links there, but he's an actual doctor, therapist, clinician who's giving detail on this. So head over there if you want. But what he said was that persecutors actually are patterned off of parts of your abuser's identities, because the trauma imprints everything. When the trauma happens, it is literally recorded and hard-coded on your brain. So every word that your abuser said, every gesture, every sight, every sound, every taste, every smell, it's brutal, but it is all imprinted there. So, and in gonna have to be a little personal in order to illustrate the point. Mimi was created out of the needs of one of our abusers. That in itself should say volumes. She adapted in order to lessen the amount of abuse, because it's a lot times easier if you just cooperate rather than being brutally raped. This is part of the trap that they put you in. You're caught in a catch-22 between two untenable choices, which is what causes the split to begin with. So the persecutors are actually emulating that particular, or a particular aspect of your abusers. And they do this because the brain has been encoded with that personality, with that feeling, and with those associative memories. So when Mimi comes out, a large part of her self-identity and her self-perception is what she was expected to be, made to be, and chose to be in order to lessen the abuse. It was a role that she filled. And she is still very much about that. She's very much conscientious about the appearance. If you've watched her videos, you know this. She has a self-image that she's trying to fulfill for that. So she can be very hypercritical of our body and our body image. She is not happy with our weight. She's not happy with the hair on our arms, which we did shave the last time she was out in order to make her more comfortable. But she doesn't identify with the body at all, and when she does choose to, there's a constant running litany of negative thought. We should not eat as much, we're binge eating at night, things like that. So she is acting as a persecutor, but she's looking to protect the system against the harm that she perceives. Tied back. Okay, I probably lost you guys way, but that's That's why persecutors do what they do. They're trying to protect the system by short-circuiting the abuse. If I don't do this, I won't get hurt. If I look this way, I won't be brutalized. Follow? That's basically what it's at, to our understanding. CTAD clinic, yes, by Viola and Will's mom, yes, excellent resource. We've been very impressed by what we found there so far. Data in particular. Okay, Marcel, have I had intrusive feelings from alters other than your own genre sexuality that got you confused? Ho, ho, ho. Yes, and actually I'm going to do you one better. Not just intrusive feelings and thoughts, but visual, I guess you could call them hallucinations. There have been at least 3 instances where we have been soaking in the tub, or generally it's in the tub, and we get out. It's one of our ways to de-stress at night, candles and bubble bath and everything. Yes, it's feminine, but who cares? Guys, come on, take a bubble bath. It's great. But as we get out and we're drying off, we tend to avoid mirrors as a matter of course, have never liked them and really don't like looking into them, because whenever we don't know who that person is staring back. There's no identification. Get to the point, Chris. Yeah. Here's the deal. At least on 3 separate occasions when we have looked up and looked into the mirror, we have literally seen both Mimi's body and, in the other case, Rosemary's. We've seen Mimi's twice and Rosemary's once, and we're talking breasts and lady bits and all, okay? And we're not talking about a corner of the eye, oh, that was a flash of light, or just a movement, and my brain is filling in the gaps with pareidolia. For those of you who don't know, pareidolia is the human mind's ability to create patterns out of chaos. You're looking up at a cloud, and you see a bunny rabbit, okay? Or somebody else sees a Teletubby, whatever. That's pareidolia. These are full visual, just like I was a lady standing in front of the mirror, and, we'll stare there for a good 2-3 minutes to make sure that it's not temporary, and then the discomfort just becomes too profound because the cognitive disconnect sets in, or dissonance, one of the two. And then we'll look away, and then things will recenter, and it's almost like there's a co-fronting or a blending, like Mimi is there when she's seeing herself, Rosemary, and then they kind of recede. It's confusing, but yeah, so, You understand your point. Thank you so much for your videos. They're a lot different than other general DID creators in a good way, of course. Okay, thank you, GB. We can't make them any other way than we do, because it's us. Not trying to emulate anybody, just who and what we are. So, didn't mean to one-up you, Marcel. It's just, that's, like I said, we're really open and honest about this stuff because, hey, what do we have to lose? So, I mean, within limits, obviously, but might find we're a wee bit more frank than other channels. So, yeah, thank you. Like I said, not looking to one-up you there, Marcel. Okay, you guys, we've covered some great stuff here. Anything else you want to know? Don't mind us drinking. It's Pepsi, really. Just. And in case you're wondering why we took our glasses off, we found that the glasses are specifically identified to Chris and Data, but the others, it kind of helps them to co-blend and co-front. So we just kind of wanted to be open to that in case anybody wanted to pop out and say hi. Everybody seems fairly content to be what they're doing now, but just in case. So that's why we've got them out, and we're kind of squinty a little. Makes everybody more comfortable. What is Rosemary's? Yeah, it's Rosemarie, M-A-R-I-E. She's like insanely particular about that. Of course, she has to pick a name that sounds just like the cooking spice. Her favorite thing to cook, bake. She has been plotting her appearance with you guys since we basically convinced her that you would dig on the cooking and the baking type of things. But she's really kind of shy, and I don't want to say fuddy-duddy, but that's kind of it. She makes a killer baked chicken. This roast chicken that she makes is like, oh my god, with rosemary and potatoes and onions and carrots. She's basically she's a positive introject, which we explained before is an alter that's based off of a positive influence in your life. This can be anyone from a real life person to a fictive, or a TV show. Sometimes they don't make any sense at all, but most of Rosemary is probably formed by memories of our grandmother, who she and my grandfather were like the only two non-abusive, stable sources in our lives. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. The air conditioning just kicked on, so if there's a hum in the background, that's what it is. Rosemary is mostly patterned after my grandmother, and she was the 50s consummate housewife. This is what she did, and by God, she was good at it. So, bread. She makes the roast chicken. She bakes a hell of a cake. Although, actually, we kind of had to step back from that because Caitlin, our other daughter, is really into the culinary arts, and oh my God, she makes the best pastries and stuff. So it's like Rosemary's just kind of stuck that off to the side to her. So whatever she feels like cooking, what do you guys want to see her prepare? Let me know. How does my family react to us having DID? It's been a mixed bag, but they've been very supportive. It's answered a lot of things about our behavior in the past. Our sons have been a little more standoffish, but that's kind of to be expected. But then it's also not one of these where they're avoiding it either. So it's just kind of, we're not pushing it, and we answer their questions whenever they want to know. We've had many frank discussions about it so that they can understand. The girls in particular have really wanted to know and to understand and get on top of it. Our wife, of course, actually participates in therapy with us, so she's very well in touch. So it has been a tumultuous change for everyone to suddenly find out that the dad you grew up with has all these other people in their heads and might be 4 years old one minute, and Rosemary's older than the body. We're not sure how. We'll just say 60s. What the hell? So, yeah, it's been weird, but they've been great and very supportive, which, again, is crucial for systems. So, yeah. Let's see. Who's also aware of the stream now, like alters in the background? Right now, Data and I are up front. Mostly I'm up front. Data's where he always is, which is right there. You've seen Mimi kind of poke her nose in. Percival's hanging out. Nigel is asleep right now. The littles are in the glade or doing their thing. Mimi keeps an eye on John, who is a severe trauma holder. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So they're kind of listening in. Rosemary's just kind of in the background. She looks after the littles, so she doesn't really have a lot of attention to spare, but she'll pop out if she wants to say something. So that's everything. Okay, thank you, Will's mom. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Okay. Sorry, I'm catching up. By the way, I've also been following you on Instagram. New portrait garden. You made several posts. How is that going? We're still evolving. We're to the point where we're going to start filling it with plants and vegetables, but we have to let the soil settle because we just moved the dirt and everything. So we're getting that ready to plant. Just threw up some more shade because some of our plants were getting a little burned, the palm tree that we had there, so we actually doubled the amount of fabric on the top to cut off any of the sun getting in. So today, first day that they've got their partial shade type thing, which will be a lot better for them. And then we've got the whole other side of the porch to do because we're going to be retiling that, because we had initially made a Zen sand garden there to sit in, very Oriental Japanese type style, very Zen, but unfortunately our cats, Colby and Cheddar, took to using the sand as a litter box, so we're going to have to lay down tile because, yeah, just not cats, you know. Let's see, so red velvet cake, okay, I will make a note of that. Rosemary, sorry for the mistake. Do you like the way you're writing? Oh, I know the problem. They call me Tessa. Okay, yeah. What are favorite ways to relax? Relax? What's relaxing? I'm unfamiliar with this word. A bit of truth in there. Really, it's just more finding ways for everyone to not be up front at the same, or terrible insomniacs. Because generally by the time that I'm done winding down for the evening, then somebody else wants to be up and looking on the internet or doing whatever they want to do or reading their graphic novels. So to relax, we work on the porch outside. We like to take care of plants. We've got a large collection of orchids. Turns out we've got a orchid growing green thumb. Who knew? Reading, working on the channel, of course. We have a virtual reality. We're in there a lot, playing different games, synth riders, exercises. Kind of like Beat Saber, but with balls. Think of like being inside of Tron. That's our exercise, which we also use as part of our mindfulness and DBT, which is just essentially keeping yourself busy in a nutshell. So we're in that. Skyrim, Fallout 4, Half-Life Alyx. We're big into VR and, of course, just regular pancake games. When we're not doing that, we're just basically researching whatever. It depends on who's up front and what they want to do. Building models. Right now, we're making a almost studio scale. Well, actually, we have been for about the past 4 years, a studio scale version of the original Starship Enterprise out of cardboard and paper. And the thing eats up most of our dining room table as it is, and it's huge. I mean, you could literally turn it into a table itself by the time it's done. So those are all the things that we do. So as many alters, as many different types of us, we all have a different interest. Hope that answers the question. Seen Mimi doing makeup with the 2 girls. Yep, those are my 2 daughters, Katie and Caitlin. And yes, they've been very supportive. Michelle, you retracted your message. And another one. That's okay. You can say whatever you want. Haley Rose, how does it feel switching for you? Welcome, Haley. I didn't see you come in. And also Circadian Anarchist? Circadian Anarchist. I like that. Clever. How does switching feel for you, and how would you describe it? Love your channel. Wonderful comment. Thank you very much. We're doing our best. How does switching feel? It really depends upon who is coming in and under what circumstances. We are getting a little bit better about not hard switching, which is the real abrupt, boom, I'm in, boom, you're out type of a thing. Percival has learned to switch in and co-blend really smoothly. Rosemary does. Mimi is still pretty rough sometimes. Plus, she likes to slam down that amnesiac barrier and protect her time out, so that really doesn't help. Unfortunately, the littles, they don't know how to switch smoothly. It's like trying to explain an orange to an ant. There's just no frame of reference there. So when we're in therapy, the switching can be really hard and abrupt, and that is brutal. Because what happens when you switch between alters, and they have actually done MRIs of DID systems during the switching, and there are marked blood pressure changes, which is called vascular changes in the brain, and literally different brain patterns for each alter. So when one alter switches out and another comes in, particularly in a rapid manner, the blood pressure changes and increases and then rapidly decreases. And this causes what they call a transitional interpersonality thunderclap headache. Imagine the worst damn migraine you've ever had and times it by 100,000. These guys are brutal. So that's a hard switch. Smooth switching, it's pretty much just kind of like being co-blended. So it depends upon if somebody's pissed, if they're hard switching in, hard switching out, or if we're all cooperating. So it's a mixed bag. We're getting a lot better about the smooth switching, but yeah, we end up with TITHs after just about every therapy session, no matter what. So yeah, they're switching for you. Okay, how many cats do I have? Two, Colby and Cheddar. Would we describe ourselves as a covert system or an overt system? covert at this point. We're getting a little more about that. Actually, starting this channel is one way of us being more overt, but in a safe manner. How's that for hypocrisy, guys? So yeah, we're growing. We've been very covert, very hidden. It was hidden so well, we had no clue. And now, as we're going through therapy and processing the trauma, every damn thing that we thought that we knew about our lives and our childhood and everything that we were told is a lie. Is a lie. And we've had to completely basically start from scratch. And that's a terrible thing. How in the hell are you supposed to cope with this thing that's turning yourself inside out when you have no ground to stand on? All of a sudden somebody went, whoop, nope, pulling the rug out from underneath your life. Here you go, swim kid. That's pretty much what it's been like. Whew. So covert, definitely. There's an obscure play on words about having unpredictable sleep schedules. Yeah, no, I got it. Don't worry. Don't worry. We know very well what the circadian rhythm is. Ours has been ruined for years. Intense grief and having children back to back will do that. Okay, so where are we? Have we ever experienced integration? We're doing our best to answer these one by one, so hang tight, guys. Hope we're doing okay. Integration. We, as we previously said, we kind of started out integrated because we didn't know we were us. We assumed we were one being with a really overactive conscience and a lot of voices in our head. We thought it was a normal thing. So we were fairly well integrated already. If you're asking, have any of our alters chose to integrate with others or fuse? No, not at this point. Almost all of ours, except for the main alts who are comfortable being who they are, because like I said, we've been learning to separate and finally get our own individual, spaces and our own individualities. They're happy being who they are, and our littles are so time and trauma locked, it's just not going to happen. We'll see, though, because the one constant about DID is nothing is constant. So, let's see. Do other alters need glasses to see, or is their eyesight better? That's another good question. You guys are full of great questions today. Thank you. This is awesome. We're not sure because we're nearsighted. Or I am, Chris and Data. The body is nearsighted. But like when Percival is fronting, he seems to see things normally. But then we also grew up most of our childhood. We didn't actually get glasses until our senior year in high school. So we went through basically all of our trauma period not having them. So that's a good question. I'm going to see if we can find an eye test, that chart. And when everybody is out, I think we're going to do that test. That is a great idea to follow up on. You just totally excited Data and gave him a project. So we'll get you back to that one on you. Yeah, Rose's Rent, yes. Oh man, they're brutal, the headaches. Do we have an inner world? Yes, kind of already answered that. It's a gray, foggy fog bank, basically. Mimi's the only one that has any place with any real definition. Other than that, or the glade where our elf alter Angel keeps the littles. Okay, so let's see a video of you and girls chatting for like 30 minutes on the DID experience for each message. Okay, gotcha. We're kind of, one of the other viewers, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, actually did ask some questions that, for that kind of a video. So I tell you what, you guys hit some questions. Let us know what you want to ask the girls or the family members. And while the girls are pretty okay with being on camera, my wife, obviously not. She's real camera shy and, privacy concerns. So write us down some questions. We'll put them together and we'll see if we can make that a video for you guys to happen. Another great idea. Do any of you speak any other language other than English? That's another excellent question. Yeah, we speak some Klingon. Okay, we're Star Trek nerds. Yeah, a smattering of Latin. We took about 2 years of Latin so that we would at least be able to understand most of the romance-based languages, you know, at least so that we could sit there with our book and understand where they're telling us go to hell, or the bathroom is over that way, or you stinky American, get off our soil. Maybe not that last part. So yeah, we've had some Spanish. We took Latin. I think a little bit of German. We're terribly rusty at it. We would love to learn more languages. That's about that. Let's see. Awesome. Can't wait to see the result. When possible, yes. Eyes improve. Yeah, we'll find that out. Do you do any art or anything expressing ourselves? Yes. All the time. Arts we've done throughout our entire life. We sketch, used to paint, watercolors. Mostly now our art is of the therapeutic nature. We've shown some of it on the channel. I think it was the pinata problem where we first showed one of our pieces of trauma art. And I think we might have showed one more. Not entirely sure. Our art is more like with the building the models, things like that. So just go ahead and type them in here, or just hit us up via email. It's infinitysystem@q, that's just the letter Q.com. infinitysystem@q.com, or you can hit us up on our Instagram or on Facebook, although to be honest we're kind of thinking about pulling off Facebook because nobody really uses it, and there's kind of things going on there that we're not really in favor of, but we don't want to get into that. So we're just kind of not comfortable with any platform that willingly promotes violence and hate speech, but that's all there is to that. So email us to them, hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, though we're rarely on that. Just telling each girl a story from scratch will probably cover all questions. Yeah, more or less, but they can kind of be a little vague without direction at times. Love them dearly, but... Wow, 18 of you. Hi, welcome. I should pay more attention to what we got going on here. You know, I'm not even sure. Oh, okay, we've been on an hour and 26 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. How do I feel about Entropy System leaving YouTube? Their choice. We said in our goodbye video to them, we're grateful. They were there when we needed them. They gave us that branch to cling on to and gave us information that made sense to us. So we're sad, obviously. They've been a really, really good channel. A lot of really good comments. Content. There's the alexithmia. I think they did what they needed to do. We're not going to get into all the crap. So many channels have already done it, and there's just no point in even focusing on it. And you know what? Everybody has opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, and most of them stink. Excuse the profanity, but that's where it's at. So our opinion is really no more important than any others. They did what they have to do. We respect their decision. We're going to keep on plugging. Hope that answers the question in a slightly vaguish way. Everybody's kosher. All the altars pretty much like that. Hi, Claudia. It's Chris and Data, mostly co-blended. We're just basically doing this. We haven't had anybody really pop out. Mimi's thrown in a couple of comments mentally, but it's Chris and Data. So welcome. And also welcome to anybody else who's popped in and we didn't see you or say hi. We've just been answering some questions, talking about a lot of general stuff. If you have anything that you want to ask, feel free. GB's asked a lot of great questions, as well as Marcel. Time in the outer world, does it go at the same pace as the outer world? No. No, it doesn't. A lot of the times. Actually, that's another video that we're going to do. all about time and how it affects the DID system because, well, hell, we lost 15 minutes yesterday. A couple days before that, we just lost a half an hour. Our wife had ordered, we had her order pizza because we weren't capable of making dinner at that point, and came back, and the next thing we know, she's at the door getting the instantaneous pizza delivery, and we're like, but you just ordered that. She's like, no, honey, it's been a half hour, 45 minutes, and it's like, okay, so yeah, time flows differently. It's really weird, because a lot of the stuff in the headspace, it takes place instantaneously. We have conversations like we would have a conversation here and now, but a lot of the information is kind of conveyed like instantly between all of us. I don't know if that makes any sense, and we're going to do some more research on this and work that into the video, so that's really the best that we can answer for you right now. Do all of your alters know how to drive? No, they don't. The littles don't, and actually this is one of our fears, is that we're going to accidentally get a hard switch while we're driving down the road. No. I take, Data and I drive most, and bootstraps. Pretty much just the three of us. Everybody else, I don't know if Rosemary would know how to drive. Mimi wants to drive, but we're like, no. So yeah, that's something that we've kept a lock on just for safety reasons. So no, not everybody knows how to drive. What do you think about Team Pinata and how Dissociated has not addressed if they're staying with them? Well, Mono, here's our answer to that. It's their damn business, not ours. Their relationship is their relationship, and with Team Pinata, not going to get into that. That's their baggage and not ours. Sorry. That's just, it's too complicated, and as a system, we've got enough crap to deal with without digging into other people's. So, sorry. Everything on that has been said, done, beaten to death, dragged out, beaten again, chopped into little bits, fed to ants, dug up the ant hill, and burned at the stake. So, they got to do what they got to do. We're going to keep plugging away. When did you start to realize that there are actually more of you, or that the others are there? Our whole lives. We just didn't know that they were alters. We just thought it was different parts of ourselves, like our conscience, an overactive conscience. Voices in your head. We thought everybody talked to themselves. So, yeah. When did it start to realize there are actually more of you, or that the others are there? And we're also discovering more alters as we go along. Kind of separating out, like I said, it's not that they're appearing, it's more that we're just learning to finally separate who is who and what's what, what's a fragment, what isn't a fragment, who actually has enough personality and who wants to become an alter, or who is out there. We're still pretty early on in our journey, so we'll see what shakes out. Okay, great questions. Keep going. Any alters don't know how to ride a bicycle, if so, ideally girls can teach them. You want to see us fall on our faces and get road rash, don't you? I see you there. I see what you want. To be dead honest, I know I haven't ridden a bike, or we haven't ridden a bike in like 20 or 30 years. I'm not even sure that I could at this point. Yeah, I know they say it's like riding a bicycle, but we'd probably just go. But interesting idea. Keep them coming, guys. And we'll take this opportunity to thank all of you for supporting us, to subscribe to the channel, to watch our content, to listen to us ramble on about esoteric crap. Your support means a lot. The community has been very welcoming, so just thank you guys. Thanks a lot. We're glad that we're reaching out to you and encouraging you to tell your stories and to share your voice. We have actually done some alter introduction videos, so check those out on our video tabs. Some will be introduced, some won't. We'll see how it shakes out. So far, we've only had Percival and Mimi come out, other than, of course, Chris and Data, who are here all the time. So we'll see. Make sure that I didn't miss any. I'm waiting. Come on. Is the name Data from Star Trek? That is a good question. Actually, believe it or not, no, not directly. It's more a description of what Data does. He's our recorder. He is our gatekeeper. And that's basically what he does, is he analyzes everything. To him is data. It's, or data, however you want to say it. It's numbers or sequences or things that fit into a pattern that he then predicts actions off of. Is this thing going to keep us safe? Is this person going to harm us? Am I reading honest body language from this person? Is that stoplight going to turn red by the time that we hit the intersection? Is this idiot going to turn left from a right-hand turn lane? That's what he does constantly. He's constantly absorbing everything around us, filtering it, trying to make a predictive pattern out of it, and keep us safe. So all of our mains, like bootstraps, that's what he does. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get the job done. So with Data, that's his job. He's essentially a living computer, and it's hell because he remembers everything. And because of that, and because he had to decide when new alts would come forward to take more abuse in many ways, even though he really kind of lacks emotions, he's the most wounded of us because of what he had to do. And he's actually one of, if not the oldest of our alts. So let's see. So no, not directly from Star Trek, but there's a lot of similarities there. Very much in the same way that they approach. Alters aware of COVID. Yeah, pretty much. To be dead honest, COVID really hasn't impacted us a lot, fortunately, because as a covert system, we have extreme anxiety. We set foot outside the door and immediately the fight or flight impulse kicks in. We feel sick, start to perspirate, pass out. Going to Walmart is an experience and hell. We've literally had to create a pattern of where we walk in the store to keep us away from where most people are. We can only be there until we start to overload, and then we have to get the hell out of there, whether we're done with our shopping or not. And a lot of the time we have to have one of our daughters, particularly Katie, to come along with us to help serve and keep us focused and grounded and not freaking out. Okay, Alti Mama, thank you very much. Go get some sleep. So many questions, you don't know which one to ask. You're doing a great job. So yeah, back to COVID. Sorry, we skip back and forth. We haven't been affected because we stay in a lot, so it really hasn't. We kind of self-quarantine anyway, but we have definitely been wearing masks and gloves since way before it was recommended, because we also have a medical background. We worked as an EMT, and we got a lot of medical people in the family. Going back to our grandmother, who was an old-time RN, so we've always been very much on the, okay, we're going to take steps before, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, so no COVID problems just yet. Tosca, do all alters no passwords, or are some locked out of the phone? They are locked out of the phone. We've been controlling that since Mimi came out, so yeah. Do I get easily triggered? Judging from your videos, you seem very stable and strong. Oh yeah, we get triggered. They're random, really random. what was the one that we had the other day? Oh, it was a can of Veg-All. You know that nasty, hideous canned concoction of peas and carrots and potatoes all together? Anyway, we found a can of that in the pantry and we were throwing it away, and we just had this immediate revulsion to it beyond just the nastiness of the food. And it was about 5 minutes after we threw it away, rather violently threw it away, that we all of a sudden started to get flashbacks and get triggered out on that. Fortunately, we were able to grab our grounding kit and shove some of our orange oil under our nose and reground ourselves. But yeah, the triggers for us are really random. TVs, of course, with violent or subject matter, things like that, we kind of get triggered. We've discovered a lot of things we can't watch anymore, or we have to close our eyes during that particular part of the movie or whatnot in order to get through it. So we're becoming more aware of it, but it's not like we're walking on a minefield. It's just they can reach up unexpectedly and bite you in the butt, and you never know what the hell they're going to be. So once we learn about them, then we can kind of avoid them, but it's still really kind of random. As far as being very stable and strong, yeah, don't fool yourself. What you're seeing is us on camera. You're not seeing the times when we are laying on the floor in the middle of an anxiety attack in a fetal position because one of our alters has decided to hard force in and we're trying to control the trauma. So yeah, we're not terribly, we're about as stable as any other system. Just because we're older, don't get the idea that we've got this all sorted out, because we don't. We're still just a year into our diagnosis, a little over a year. So yeah, we're still kind of babies swimming in the pool. So let's see. Viola, doing such a great job with the videos. I've started knowing that you're a system. Much to learn and you help so much already. Thank you. That's exactly why we started the channel. To make you guys feel not so alone, not so weirded out, because that was done for us by the entropy system. So good, we're glad. Hang on there, Viola, because it's buckle up. Buckle up and get yourself a good therapist. Trust your gut. Okay, so Data is like a gatekeeper. Yes, he acts as one as well. Sure, Data is human, perhaps. No, Data is human, trust me. Thank you, Michelle, but that has crossed our mind. But no, he's human. Just he had to shut off emotions because he couldn't. Actually, he's more like a Vulcan than anything else. There you go. You want Data? Think of a Vulcan. Okay, Walmart, leaving the house is always Picasso. Do I have any alters that... Haley Rose wants to know, do we have any alters that dramatically change the body's voice when they're fronting? Percival, Nigel, the Littles. A lot of the times, we don't really notice these things, and we actually have to ask our therapist and our wife, is it really that pronounced? And they're like, your tone changes. It's like Mimi. There's another great example. She's Valley girl, goth wannabe girl from the 80s, and her mannerisms and even her speech. What am I thinking of? The word meme is coming to mind, but that's not her. The phrases, the speech from the like, awesome and, stuff like that. The words that were the parlance that was in use during the 80s, that's still, we see it coming out of our mouth. And she has a very pronounced inflection. Obviously, the most extreme is Percival, because Percival and Nigel, they're from overseas. I guess. That's how they identify. So yeah, Haley, hope that answers your question. Hello, Madeline, Constantine, and anybody else that we forgot. No one is who they are on camera. Yep, absolutely correct, Rose's Rent. Although what you see is what you get with us. We're never going to try to obfuscate or blow smoke up your ass or be anything other than what we are. So what you see is what you get. And when we screw up, catch us on it. Tell us, okay? Because the only way that we're going to learn from our mistakes is by knowing that we made them and apologizing for them. System responsibility, guys. So there we go. Be our fact checker, please. Let's see. Okay. GB, I'm sorry. What do we have in our grounding box? I'll show you. Hang on just a sec. Whoa. Earthquake. Sorry. Okay. This is our grounding box. A little messed up, but... Alright, the first thing that we have, and probably the most important, is our mandarin orange essential oil. Everybody has a different scent. Our therapist recommended using a very strong scent. It helps to break you out of the flashback loop and bring you back to the present, because your brain associates that smell. So just your common mainstays, orange, essential orange oil, which is probably our most go-to. Then we have a little container here that we've got some ibuprofen and our propranolol, our anti-anxiety med, in there, so that if we can't communicate, we're in the middle of a flashback, our wife knows they're right here, what they are, and she can get them for us. We also have another scent thing. This used to hold actual amber incense. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that or not, but it kind of permeated the bag, and we like the smell, so we've got that in there. We like sharp objects with a hard edge. I know some people like to squishy things. For us, it helps to ground us by, well, when we're really in extremis, we tend to want to bite our hand. That's probably the most self-destructive behavior that we've got, and it is directly tied to the trauma and what we endured. But our therapist has kind of moved us away from that into things like this. So we've got this disc here made out of metal that we can grip pretty hard and hopefully not slice our fingers up on. And in our little black bag here, we have a variety of other things, including our rock here. His name is Dwayne. Dwayne the Rock? Yeah, okay, it's a dad joke. So we've got him, and we've got a die here, again, sharp, hard, pokey edges, and we have these 3 brass weights of differing sizes that were part of a scale that our wife brought home and gave to us because the school was throwing it out. So what we'll do is we'll use these as a mental focus. There's a little indentation here on the top of the box that we can set these on. And what we'll do is, in order to focus us, is we'll take and put them in different corners, and then we'll just move them back and forth like this to make different patterns, and that focuses us in, engages the brain, and helps to pull us out of the loop. So that's our grounding box. We highly recommend that you guys make one of these if you're a system. This is not our idea. We got it from Multiplicity and Me over on Jess's channel. And we thought it was a great idea. Actually, our homework for this time from our therapist is to make a series of 3x5 cards that we can then put into the box that have things like, I need my medication, I'm having a flashback, this person is at the front, call our therapist, call the crisis center. So when we can't communicate because we're in the middle of one of these flashbacks, the mouth disconnects, and it is incredibly difficult just to form words. We tend to stutter a lot and just cannot get the words out. So these cards will enable us to let our wife know, or our girls know, or whoever is helping us at that point in time, what we need and to communicate. So that's our grounding box. We definitely highly recommend that you guys try these out, even if you're not a DID system. And if you're just stressed out, these things can help to, recenter you. Mindfulness is not just for systems. Okay, so there's that. Let's see, what else do we have? That was kind of long. Let's see. Grounding box. No one knows who they are. Woo, okay. Hi there. Hi, Adria's Perils. Everybody's doing good today. That's why we decided to start the live stream. To take a break from doing our next heavy-duty episode. So, not just the voice, the posture, mannerisms. Yeah, exactly. Michelle is commenting on something that they asked earlier on, which was basically the differences. I'd have to scroll back up, but yeah, absolutely. The voice, the postures, the mannerisms change. Even the brain waves will change. Yeah, it's real. There is hardcore physical scientific evidence for this. Just need a lot more research. Maldwin. Constantine, you bite your hand as well. Rough pay. Yeah, that urge to bite is just overwhelming. For us, it's right here. Yeah. It's like, our therapist is like, no bite. So, hand biting file under autism problems. Alters play jokes on alters, like hiding the remote. Oh, God, I hope not, because we are leaving stuff all over the damn house that doesn't make any damn sense. What the hell was it the other day? We found our car keys in the, was it the refrigerator? No, it was not. It was in the dishwasher. It's like, what the hell would we put our car keys in the dishwasher? I mean, maybe they got knocked off, or we were in the. It's just this is one of our sources of frustration. So I don't know if it's a deliberate thing or not. Nigel will tease Percival about his name. He calls him Percy, and yes, I know I'm telling him. And Percival just absolutely hates it. Knee-jerk reaction there. So a little bit of good-natured teasing, but I don't think any real jokes, although now that you've given them the idea, they just might do that. Thanks so much, Miss L. No. Do I do journaling? We do journaling. We did. Yes and no. We actually have a very thick journal of basically up to from April through September or October of last year. And then we kind of switched to video journaling and started in more intensively with our therapist. So the need for daily journaling really kind of fell by the wayside. And plus we've got this with you guys, so we can kind of get our thoughts out. But we do have private videos where we're just kind of talking to our therapist and giving them updates and things. So yes and no. Any cats around? I think they're all sleeping. Yeah, sorry. They're sleeping, and I'm going to let sleeping cats lie. So sorry, no cat photobombs this time. Great to hear. Glad you're all doing well. Yes, doing pretty well. Okay. Bye, Roses. Say hello for us, and thank you guys for your support. Okay, let's see. Circadian wants to know, how do you decide with whom to share your triggers? I imagine telling someone about a trigger can be useful so other people can avoid causing them unintentionally, but you have to trust them 100%. Yes, absolutely. Really, the only people who know about my triggers or our triggers, since we are a covert system, are our immediate family members. And when they do crop up, we immediately let them know. Because it could just be an idea or mentioning something or referencing a body part. You never know what they're going to be. So we do make sure to let them know. In this case, we are not worried about them triggering us intentionally. They wouldn't do that. It can be unintentional sometimes because, hey, we can't all remember an endless litany of things that might possibly trigger me out. That's just something as a system we feel you kind of got to work with yourself, because you can't expect everybody else around you to live on eggshells all the time. A certain amount of the heavy lifting you got to do yourself and learn how to manage the triggers and how to manage the reactions that they give. So you're as equally responsible as everybody else, or at least that's our feeling. Let's see. But yeah, trust is absolutely important. One Mullah, are you familiar with Jenny Haynes? Yes, we are familiar with her. Just a remarkable story. A remarkable woman. Such feels. We actually envy her because she got to take her abuser to court and screw the bastard to the wall, legally speaking. She got the justice that so many of us will be denied. But she also set that precedent, even if it is in Australia, so that now courts can begin to look at that precedent and begin to hold accountable our abusers and accept the testimony of alters as separate individuals as well as that, and to give that the weight that it needs. It's a step forward. And yeah, Jenny, respect. Yeah, she was incredibly brave. Incredibly brave. That special, I think it was the 60 Minutes Australia one that we watched. It was gut-wrenching to get through. It really was. But yeah, so brave. So brave. I hope she's doing well out there. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But you know what? Every system is amazing, guys. Every single last one of us. We're all unique. We've all got a unique story to tell and unique voices. So get out there. Tell it. Don't be afraid. Don't let your voice be silenced. Alrighty. We are rolling up just about on the 2 o'clock mark. We've got about another, 8 to 10 minutes. So you guys go ahead and hit us up with any other questions that you want to ask. We are, like I said, we're currently working on a new video, one of our heavy-duty ones, like Boys May Cry, or Boys Cry 2. This is going to be dealing with sex and trauma and how that affects DID and the sex life of DID systems and how it affects their partners, and a level of understanding that that's required. So watch out for that one. Don't worry, we'll put up the trigger warnings. But probably look for that next weekend because it is so heavy. We need to really sort through at a pace that's comfortable for us so that we don't get triggered out for it. But there's a lot of really good information that we want to get out there and share and kind of rip the cloak of secrecy off of. So keep your eyes open for that. Otherwise, we're kind of gonna... we just put out a lot of the little storytime videos, so we don't want to deluge you guys with those, but we want to know when would be the best time to upload those for you guys. We've kind of been trying to do them on Wednesday in the evenings, but we want to pick a time that's the best for you guys. So feel free to hit us up and let us know for that, and we're glad that that's working out for the littles. The littles need attention too, definitely. Okay, so let's see. Okay, tell us something that makes me happy. Makes me happy. Cats. Cats make us happy. Cats are always good. Our wife makes us happy, knowing that she loves us and supports us, no matter what's going on with us. It just means the world that she is so loving and supportive, and the kids and the doctors. Flowers. Green grass makes us happy. The smell of fresh cut green grass. We love that. So those are a few of our favorite things. Let's see. I don't know if this asked before, but what was your life's reaction to learning you have DID? Did she notice any changes in you before you got your diagnosis? I'm sure she did. It's been tumultuous for her. She's been very supportive, but listening to our trauma and dealing with the things that we went through, it's a challenge, particularly because of her living. She is a teacher and she does work with kids. It's very tough to hear that these kind of things happened to a child, to hear your husband become a 4-year-old and start explaining and describing things that adults don't want to talk about or even know about. So it's been very challenging for all of us all around. But she's a trooper. She's been very supportive, and she's with us through thick and thin. Hopefully, maybe later on, we might be able to do a Q&A with her, or maybe, off camera more than likely. But if there's anything in particular that you'd like to know from her, jot it down in the comments. We're going to go back over the comments here, and we've had some great ideas for videos and some great questions that you guys have asked, so we're definitely not going to let this stuff slide by the wayside. Yes, cats are the best. Okay, let's see. Also love your channel and look forward to future videos. Thank you, Maldwin. Hope we're pronouncing that correctly. Any movies or series on DID OSDD that I'm able to appreciate and recommend? This is the weird thing. We really haven't seen a lot out there for whatever reason. Maybe it was just our covert system identifying, we don't want to learn about DID because we are. That would reveal us as a system. We'd seen The Three Faces of Eve and... what the devil was the other one? I can't remember what the name of the other one was offhand. But, basically old information. We've never seen Split, never seen the United States of Terror. It's just not something that crossed our radar. Oh, Sybil, that was the other one. The original with Sally Fields. Yeah. Anyway, so that was it for DID as far as we knew. Just really was something... So I can't really recommend. I think Entropy System did a video on that where they recommend various shows that show a more realistic. There is a movie out there that we found was interesting. It's called What If It Works? It took us a while to find it, but if you are able to track down a copy of it and watch it, go ahead. It's a great little movie. Let's see. What else do we have here? Cats are the best. Yes, they are. Do I sometimes get apprehensive about trolls or haters who might intentionally try to hurt you, since that happened to other DID YouTubers? And thank you, Maldwin. Glad to know that we're pronouncing it correctly. I'd be lying if we said that it hadn't crossed our mind. And earlier in the live stream here, we actually touched on this. And here's our thought. Yes, as we get larger, if we get larger, that's not the goal. The goal is what we're doing to give our experience to you guys, to help you. It's not about us. Trolls will be trolls. The best way to take care of troll is to just not feed it. It's the reaction that they're looking for. And we've been on the internet for a long time. We've been administrators, moderators. We've been around the block, and we've seen it all. We know what can go on. We didn't step into this blindly. Yeah, there's going to be haters. There's going to be trolls. There's only been one so far that we actually... No, I'm sorry, 2 that we had to ban from the channel. But here's the deal. You have the right to your opinion. You have the right to state it in a civilized fashion. As long as you leave out hate speech, profanity, and personal attacks, we will not delete comments if they disagree with our opinion or anyone else's. Everybody has the right to say their piece, as long as it's not abusive, contains personal attacks, or is just looking to start shit. Okay, sorry for the profanity, but we're blunt. So trolls, best way is just to ignore them. And besides, like we said earlier, we have already been abused physically and verbally by pros, okay? These guys, there's really nothing they can do. That's just where it's at. So don't feed them. Don't feed the trolls, guys. And, don't feel obligated to defend us if it happens. We're perfectly capable of taking care of ourselves. Trust me. Trust us. So there's that. Yeah, well, I know. Sorry. Sorry there, Circadian, but would you be uploading this live stream to your channel? As far as I know, we actually are. So, yeah. We kind of had to do it through this other program, OBS, that our son turned us on to, because we don't actually have a webcam. We're doing it through our cell phone, and it's kind of like we have to have one for the camcorder to make it work, and then this to make it work with YouTube. So it's like, and because we don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, we can't mobile live stream from our cell phone. So we're just doing the best we can. So yeah, we're going to try our best to make sure that this ends up on YouTube. So, and yes, like I said earlier, Circadian, we are hypocrites. We're humans. So yeah, surprise, surprise. We're actually going to act like human beings. Okay, so we are going to wrap this up here, guys. Are there any other questions? We're at the 2-hour mark here. If there's anything else you want to know, hit us up. We'll give you about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and close it down. Again, thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting the channel. Just spread the word. If you know somebody out there who's a male body system, an older body system, point them in our direction, and maybe they'll get some help out of this stuff. Okay, thank you guys for all the love. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Maldwin. Thank you, Living Aries. And One Moolah, GB, great questions. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. And remember, you are loved, you are strong, and you're not alone. I'm Chris, Data, and the whole rest of us. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye now, if I can figure out how to turn this off. Which I'm not sure I can. Okay, start stream. Stop streaming. Okay, there we go.